Today we're at RPM Cycle in Dallas, Texas to install a SuperBrace fork stabilizer on this 2016 Honda XR650L. The tools needed for this job are a 5mm hex socket, a ratchet, a torque wrench, and a small Phillips screwdriver. Before we start, make sure you have the correct SuperBrace for your year and make and model of motorcycle. Bike should be upright with the wheel facing forward. You can place a block of wood under the kickstand to help keep the bike upright. Go ahead and disassemble the SuperBrace by removing the 4 5mm hex bolts. Once the bolts are removed, you can separate the two halves of the SuperBrace. The rubber gaiters that cover the fork tubes must be raised in order to install the SuperBrace. At the bottom of each gaiter is a cable clamp held in place with a small Phillips screw. You'll need to remove this clamp by removing the small Phillips screw that holds it in place. With the clamp removed, you can now use your fingers to roll the gaiter up over the bottom fork tube. Once you have both gaiters up over the fork tubes, it's time to install the SuperBrace. Slide the front half of the SuperBrace behind any cables and align it on top of the bottom fork tube as shown. Now we're ready to install the back half of the SuperBrace. Again, make sure it clears any cables and line it up with the front half of the SuperBrace so that the two halves meet. Make sure that both of the rubber gaiters slip down over the lip on top of the SuperBrace. This will actually help hold the SuperBrace in place. Now you're ready to install each of the 4 5mm hex bolts that are provided and hand tighten each one. Use a torque wrench to tighten each of these bolts to 10 foot-pounds. Remove each of the clamps that you previously took off the bottom of the gaiter and replace them at the bottom of the gaiter to hold them firmly in place on the SuperBrace. Use the Phillips screw that you removed earlier to hold the clamps in place. Now compress your front forks a few times to make sure your SuperBrace is not interfering with any cables or hoses.